What is up, guys? Beancrew49 here. We are back on the Desolation map. And yet again, we find ourselves in Chinatown. Downtown to Chinatown. Time to get some more work done on Chinatown. I've been doing other things around town, around the city, in the ghetto, and in the what do you call it, the residential neighborhoods. So I haven't really been doing Chinatown recently. So I thought it'd be get back in the swing of things today with our Monday video, do things in fast forward motion, and really get to building. Just start, I keep seeing these old buildings, and I can't wait to tear them down, honestly. I want to leave them up there just so I have, some sort of reference points. Loving Sakura had a great vision for this Chinatown. I want to keep some of it. I do want to do some more traditional buildings, but I also want to keep this Chinatown modern. Right? Like any Chinatown in Chinatown, USA. Okay? That's what we're going for here with this rendition of Chinatown. So today's building is going to be kind of plain Jane. It's going to not really seem very Chinese. And what I'm going to build is sort of like an open air market that has an inside portion. It's hard to explain. I'm basing this off of a picture that maybe I'll put up right now that I took in Chinatown, San Francisco. So that's what I'm kind of going for, just the whole feeling of that building, and we'll see how we do today. I don't know. I might start in on some interiors as well as the exteriors. So yeah, we're going to get our foothold in Chinatown today. We're crossing the street and we're doing new things. All right. Today is Monday, and on Monday I talk about things in super fast forward motion. I talk about questions that you put in the comment section. It's called Creative Question of the Week, and that's what we're going to do today on Monday. Is my favorite part of the series, where I answer questions from you, the community, that you put in the comment section down below. So if you have a question, doesn't matter what it is. Well, it does sort of matter what it is, but keep it PG-13 rated, I guess. But any question, nothing's off limits, so consider it all and put that in the comment section so I have something to answer for next week. I try to keep it current, so any question you ask me in today's video will be up for grabs next week, and we'll keep things moving. All right. So today's question comes from Bahamut15. Bahamut says, is magic real? My mom has recently started believing in things like witches and wizards who can do things such as telekinesis. She gets people online to send her spells to give her certain energies. This I can't believe, but magic I'm not too sure about. Oh, thank you, Bahamut, for that great question. We're going to dive deep in here, guys. I need you to be open-minded. Okay, that's what I ask from you today. That's your part in this whole thing, is being open-minded, because we're going to talk about things that are counter to what you've been taught. And you've been taught so many different things by so many different people, and it's been given to you under the guise that it's true. And I hate to break the news to you, but a lot of the things that you were taught are false. Okay, it's up for you to decide what is true and what is false. My job here today is to present you the alternative viewpoint. So Bahamut wants to know, is magic real? To answer that question, we have to ask ourselves, what is magic? Magic is nothing more than something that science cannot explain. I want you guys to really take some time with that. Think about that. Magic is something that science can't explain. That's all it is. With our current technologies, we can't explain it. So if you look back on human history, let's say, for instance, an herbalist who was mixing together different plants to create medicine. At one point in history, that was called magic. And that guy would be called a wizard or a witch, and he or she would be burned at the stake because they didn't understand it. Their science couldn't prove how plants could be used as medicine. So people naturally are afraid of what they don't understand. So it was called magic, and those people were killed brutally. What else? I can't even think of it. There's so many examples of technology not keeping up with what humans are experimenting in. And, when electricity was founded, before electricity was founded, it was called magic. As, Edison and Tesla were working on electricity and, starting to make advancements in electricity, a lot of people coined it as magic. They thought it was magic because it was something that could not be explained by the current science. And these people are on the cutting edge of technology, but still they're considered outcasts. Nikola Tesla died poor, penniless, even though he was one of the most eminent scientist of our times, and he was working on things that the scientific community was not ready to accept yet. And now with our current technologies, we know that Nikola Tesla was working on the forefront of technology and science. He was discovering things that people weren't ready to accept yet they were true, and they were discoveries. But he was ostracized by the community, and that's what people do when they can't understand something. They fear it, and when they fear something, they want to strike out against it, to do a first attack, so that it's easier to attack something you don't understand than try to understand it. And so people get fearful, and people get ostracized. Speaking of Nikola Tesla, which brings us to our current technology, if you think that our current science and technology can show all that there is to prove, then you're one of those people in Nikola Tesla's time who weren't ready to accept different things. There's a quote by Tesla who says, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Energy, frequency, and vibration. So to answer Bahamut's question, yes, there is magic, and all it is science not understanding the reality around them. Now, I say this because I know it to be true. I know that there is telekinesis. I know that you can send energy from person to person. I know that you can make spells. And, you talked about spells in your question. What spells are is basically manipulation of energy. Everything in this universe is made up of energy, comprised of energy, and we have our 5 senses, and they're pretty good. We can see, smell, taste, all that sort of thing, but we can't sense energy. Think about that for a second. You can't sense energy. Dogs and cats can, but humans can't. Or can they? Not with your 5 senses you can't, but if you unlock your 6th sense, that's what it is. You can sense energy. And that's why I'm saying these things are true to you. Yes, there is magic, what you would call magic, because I've experienced it through the opening of my 6th sense. I've experienced telekinesis on a first-hand level. I've experienced telepathy. It's sort of like telepathy, but it's more to do with the heart center. And I know we're going to get way out there for a lot of you, but all it is the understanding of energy, frequency, and vibration. And we don't have tools in our technology to measure that, but there is energy all around us. We are energy. Everything we do causes energetic ripples, vibrational ripples, and frequency changes. And so yes, there is magic, and it's just in 100 years, what I'm talking about will be called science. Maybe 200 years. I don't know. Technology moves fast. Maybe one day soon they're going to invent technology to measure energetic frequencies. And at the level I'm talking about the 5th, 6th, 7th dimensional frequencies. And what I mean by that is just they're on a higher plane. They're a higher vibration than anything that we have invented can measure. And so it's very hard for people who are based in science to accept any of these things, because they're living in a time where their technology can't prove it, which you can't fault them. A lot of people will only believe what they can experience, and they haven't experienced the unlocking of their 6th sense, their third eye. So yes, I understand that people will be very hostile towards these ideas, and but for those of us who have experienced it, there's no denying it that there is magic. Crystals, I've talked about crystals in the past. I can feel the energy of I'm holding a couple crystals right now, and I can feel their individual energies. No 2 crystals are the same. They give off an energy. Wherever they go, their energy radiates outwardly. And if you put them in your hand, you can feel it. You can't feel it necessarily because you haven't unlocked your 6th sense, but people can. Same thing for tarot is another example of magic, and I know that's true because I know that tarot is not just a random. How can I put this? This is hard to explain. Through tarot, I can tap into other people's energies. That's the best way to explain it. I can tap into other people's energies and sense what they feel, what they think, so far as to say what's going to happen to them. And I know this is true because I've been doing it and I've experienced it. And yes, it's true. As far as telepathy, I've communicated with animals. And I know you guys are not going to believe me. That's fine. I don't expect you to believe me. Like I said, it's not something that you can ever just take on someone's word. I don't expect anyone to take anything on someone's word. But I've been telling you guys that every single person in the world has 6 senses. That's part of being a human. Human beings have 6 senses. You are born with 6 senses. All children, all small children have 6 senses. That's why they react to things that you can't see. You know, you'll see a kid laughing at a corner of the room, or you'll see a kid cry for random, no apparent reason. That's because they're interacting with 4th and 5th dimensional entities that they can perceive. But by the time you can speak, your parents have taught you to completely shut down that frequency. Not just your parents though, it's also your diet. Sodium fluoride is a killer. Sodium fluoride is designed to shut down your 6th sense. It goes straight to the pineal gland, which is where your psychic center is, and it accumulates there and it calcifies the pineal gland. And sodium fluoride is in your food, it's in your water, it might be in the atmosphere, who knows, but there's so many different ways of injecting us with sodium fluoride. And it's a I hate to use the word conspiracy theory, because as soon as you use that word, like, people just tune out. They're like, oh yeah, conspiracy theory. But it's true. There is something to be gained by keeping the human populace unaware of their 6th sense. There's people in power who don't want you to have your own power, if you know what I mean. So this kind of information is kept from us. It's not taught in schools. It's beaten out of us by the time we can talk. And we forget that there is magic. Little children know there's magic. They know about the elemental Devic realm. And what I mean by that is there are beings in nature that you can't perceive with your 5 senses, but they're out there. And there's plant divas, there's water divas, there's also fire divas, there's all sorts of entities on the 4th dimension. There's extraterrestrials, there's incarnated spirits. I mean, oh my goodness, if you can perceive the 4th dimension, then you are a lot of people are shocked the first time they kind of perceive what's going on around them, because there's so much that we cannot perceive. The human beings, I believe they see 3% of the visible light spectrum that we know about. So consider that for a moment. You're seeing 3% of what we think is out there. 3%. Think about that. So yes, there's magic, but it's not magic. It's just science that hasn't been proven yet. Like I said, in 100 years, everything I'm saying to you will be proven. I'm guessing 100. I mean, it could be more. It could be less even. I don't know. Technology moves fast, like I said. So, you know, you call it magic and call it what you want. Just because it's not provable by science now doesn't mean it's not real. And I don't expect you to believe anything I'm saying right now, but I do expect you to consider it, right? I do expect you to think about it, because there's more to life than you can really even imagine. There's more to this reality on Earth than you could even imagine. And to kind of close yourself off to new information, you're kind of putting yourself in a box, aren't you? You're kind of restricting what you can perceive. And that's the pity about it, is that a lot of the times we are the ones who constrict ourselves, because we have these belief systems. We believe that there's no such thing as magic, so it has to be true, because we're creating our own realities. But if you can believe that there's magic, then the magic will show itself to you. Whatever you perceive multiplies in. Whatever you're perceiving is what your reality will be. So open yourself up to the possibility of new things, and new things will show themselves to you. I trust me on that. Don't listen to your teachers or your parents or your society, because they don't know everything. You have to listen to yourself. All right, that's going to be the episode for today. Okay, there is magic, Bahamut. Thank you for asking that question. And of course, there's people out there who are just trying to make money. So, if you're going to buy a spell from somebody, make sure that you are getting something that's it's from a trusted source, because a lot of people will make money off of pretending to be psychic, and it's a shame. But those types of people are in all walks of life. So, at all times in life, be careful of people trying to lie and to manipulate you. And if you think that's what I'm doing to you, then keep in mind that I like I said again, I don't expect you to believe this. I expect you to do your own research and come to your own conclusions, really. But at least consider it, because it takes some consideration in order to come to new things. You know what I'm saying? To come to new places in life, you have to kind of step outside of your comfort zone, leave the box, so to speak, as I build a box in front of us. Okay. All right, that's going to be the episode for today. I want to thank Bahamut for 15 for asking that great question, and keep them coming, guys. Put them in the comment section below, and I will try to answer as many as I possibly can. All right, that is going to be the episode for today. Chinatown coming through. Looking good, Chinatown. You do your thing, Chinatown. All right, so that's going to be the episode today. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Happy Minecrafting. Peace.